Welcome everyone to the Last Chance Qualifier, where 32 drivers have one more shot at locking themselves into the main event, that is, the inaugural Combination 200 at the Orlando International Speedway. 30 drivers have already locked in their spots for the main event during the two qualifying races we had, but the drivers in this Last Chance Qualifier weren't as lucky. But fortunately, this is their second chance to advance. Hey, that rhymes. Just like the two qualifying races, there's 17 laps and lots of action expected. However, this time there's 32 cars, but only 13 advance to the main event, completing the 43-car field. This is basically the last qualifying race before the main event, as positions 31st through 43rd will be determined in this race. We're about to find out which 13 drivers be the final ones to advance to the Combination 200. Here's the command, everybody. Drivers, start your engines! Engines are fired, you know the drill. Let's check out our starting lineup for the Last Chance Qualifier presented by Mannheim Auctions. Matt Earnhardt finished 16th in his qualifying race, puts him on pole for the LCQ. He's lined up alongside David Quitnar in the 75. In the second row, we have the 08 of Fleur Diaz, then an invert of Fleur's number, the 80 of Julian Lozano, both for different teams. Row 3, we have Eric Michael Waltrip Glover Keplinger alongside LW Wright, the one that's not missing. Row 4, we have Trey Smith and Jax Emery. Row 5, we have Chris Beasley and Eli Bright. Row 6, we have Sayer Diaz, Blur's brother, and Jackson Patrick. Then the row after that, we have Matthew Ingram and Michael Abb Jr. Row 8, we have Clayton Motter in the 78 and Joseph Hernandez in the 26. Row 9, we have Paul Brandonson Jr. and Michelle Wilcox. Row 20, Michael Reynolds, and rounding out the top 20 is Chase Powers in the 21. Row 11, we have Owen Miles and Lucas Short, a pair of Xavier Motorsports teammates. Then we have John Doe and Cameron Davison. And then we got Michael Anderson and Frode Marantz. 3 rows to go, Brandon Shaw and Justin Brewer. Then in the next row, we got Steve Gates and James Stapleton. But rounding out the field is Jack Lawton and Thomas Ruffling. Sorry, I lost count of the rows. They're on the screen. Now we're getting ready to go green. Matt Earnhardt and David Quitnar on the front row. This is the very last chance for these drivers to clinch a spot in the Combination 200. Who will make it in and who will go home? I'm going to stay silent until the green flag waves and the pace car pulls into pit road. Pace cars pulling into the pit road. They're approaching the restart zone for the start of the race. We're underway. The Last Chance Qualifier is green. Oh, Matt Earnhardt started to drop back. He's got one of the slower cars in the field despite all the Hendrick power. The only reason why he started on pole is because he was the first one not to advance in the first qualifying race. Look at how far he's dropped. I hope he doesn't have a problem or anything. Maybe he's just trying to avoid the big one. But anyways, David Quitnar takes advantage of Matt Earnhardt's downfall in the field, and he's your leader. But here comes Chris Beasley in the 6. Coming to the tri-oval, Beasley clears Quitnar, and the first watch car is going to lead the first lap. How ironic. But here comes the 15. Eric Keplinger Moving into second. No, he's going to go down to the inside for the lead. Like I've said before, the inside lane is the preferred line of this track, even though this is a super speedway. Most passes are made down there. But here comes Keplinger to the lead. John Doe has made his way into the top 5. So has Owen Miles in the 7. Oh, looks like they're almost 3 wide for the lead, that is. But here comes Miles to second. Looks like he's going to try to take the lead. He's got a huge run. But here comes John Doe. Oh, David Quintner got into the wall a little bit. As it looks like Miles is going to lead that lap. Now John Doe and Jack Lund, the SHR teammates, are going to the front. But so is the 44, Brandon Shaw. He's got help from James Stapleton, who started deep in the field, like close to the back. But here comes Brandon Shaw to the lead. And he almost clears him. But how about the 53 of Michael Reynolds? The international stock car driver that could possibly be a new series on this channel. Maybe. But anyways, here comes Reynolds in the grade number 53 for Rick Ware Racing to the front. And looks like he's going to lead a lap in the LCQ. But here comes Michael Anderson. He's got a Toyota teammate behind him and David Quintner. And he's getting a push to the lead. This is some crazy racing early on. Just like your average Orlando race in our 2003. But now, the 2 Toyotas are side by side for the lead as Justin Brewer, Trey Smith, and Fredo Maranta have entered the top 5. Whoa! What a save by Joseph Hernandez and Michael Reynolds. They almost crashed. Anyways, the 2 Toyotas are still side by side. Looks like Michael Anderson has the nose ahead, but here comes Justin Brewer. Looks like he's getting a big run, but is he going to clear him and get the lead? Michael Anderson still leading. But here comes Joseph Hernandez. He's going to make it 4 wide for the lead. Who's going to clear him? It looks like Hernandez will. New leader, the 26 of Joseph Hernandez. And Michelle Wilcox has entered the chat. She's up to 3rd. Or is she going to take the lead? The female hasn't led yet. And she's going to... Looks like she is out front by a nose. But here comes Paul Bradenson Jr. He's going to take 3rd away as Wilcox falls back to 4th. But anyways, look at this huge pack. They're 4 and 5 wide. Michael Anderson still leading. They're 3 wide for the lead. And here comes Eli Bright, the yellow Hellman's Mayonnaise car. Looks like he's going to try to take him 4 wide for the lead. This is crazy racing. And here comes Davison, the sprint car. Well, the sprint sponsor car, not literally a sprint car, but he's going to take 2nd away. But how about the black and white Smithfield car, Jackson Patrick? Oh, it looks like there were 6 wide for a moment. Patrick has entered the top 5. He's in 2nd. And oh, we got trouble! A crash! The teammates of Brandonson and Davison have crashed, as well as Fredo Maranta, Joseph Hernandez, Justin Brewer, and many more. This is the big one. There's the 53 of Michael Reynolds. He's also involved as the caution is out. What a huge wreck. Such a shame, as these drivers will not advance to the main event. They have officially failed to qualify. As there's Leighton Mata, Jack Severy, both with heavy damage, Blur Diaz, Matthew Ingram, Julian Lozano. They're all involved. We're going to have a look at a replay of this huge mess that brings out our first caution here in the last chance qualifier on lap 7 of 17. So, it looks like Davison came up on Paul Branson Jr., remember, the 86 and the 57 are teammates from Miller Motorsports, and then they just collected a bunch of cars. You see Frodo Maratz, Michael Reynolds, Joseph Hernandez, Trey Smith, Justin Brewer. Just a huge wreck by the exit of pit road and going into turns 1 and 2. Excuse me for the burp. So anyways, what a huge mess that was. And like I said, none of the drivers involved are likely to make it into the main event now, since their cars are all torn up. Here it is from a different angle. Well, it looks like Jackson Patrick in the 10 made slight contact with Davison, sending him and Brandonson up into the field. Just so many good cars with a chance of even winning this race involved. Chris Beasley did a great job avoiding it. So did the Savior Motorsports teammates of Owen Miles and Lucas Short. But guys like Blur Diaz, not so lucky. As he slammed into Frodo Maratz, and then Matthew Ingram had nowhere to go. Neither did Michael Lab Jr. Another wreck for the 14. Unfortunately, this time he didn't flip over and slide down the trial bowl on his roof like he did in the first qualifying race. Tough break for all of these drivers. And then the wreck continues when they get into turn 1, which you'll see in a moment. Just what a huge wreck. There's Trey Smith, the 40. He gets into Otts, I believe, and then Chase Powers, nowhere to go. He slams into the 40 of Smith. And he gets into the outside wall. Gosh, I'm so tired, but still feel like commentating, so anyways, Powers gets into the wall after hitting Smith, and then Leighton Mata slams into him. Nowhere to go. Justin Brewer also involved. Lozano was going to make it through, but then he gets hit by Emery. Lozano does. You see the 52 hitting the back of the 80. Lozano was going to make it through if it wasn't for Jax Emery. Dang you, Jax. No offense if you're watching this, by the way. But anyways, such a huge wreck. And now we're going to have a look at some onboard cameras in a moment. You can see there's Matthew Ingram's car. Oh my goodness. We have 2 more angles to look at before we look at some onboards. As you see, once again, the 2 teammates collecting a handful of drivers. Just about half the field, or about a third of it, or a quarter. Just huge wreck. My gosh. There you see Blur Diaz after getting hit. I know I keep saying it's a huge wreck. We get it. There's Brandonson, heavy damage. Here it is in real time. I'd say it was kind of a long one, too. Now it's on board time, starting with Justin Brewer. I believe this is the longest onboard camera. Yeah, it is. You see The follow-up wreck happening in front of him. Then he gets into Mata, ending his day, as well as Brewers. And here it is on board from Owen Miles. He made it through this one. Big wreck happening behind him. Another driver who made it through was Chris Beasley into 6th. A driver who didn't make it through was Michael Reynolds. Here's his onboard. Didn't get too much damage, but he is out of the race, unfortunately, and will not race in the main event. As you see, he gets into Joseph Hernandez at the end after the pace car drives through the 26. Here's on board with Matthew Engelrod. Don't think we've gone on board with this driver yet. It's Trey Smith. Now we have gone on board with him. We see him getting hit by Powers. Another driver who made it through was Jack Lawton. I believe this is the final onboard camera. We're going to show up this wreck. We'll be right back with more after this. This is what happens when you text and drive. Don't text and drive. And enjoy the race. Welcome back to the last chance qualifier at Orlando, where the huge one just struck. Multiple drivers, including Frono Maratz, Paul Branson Jr., Justin Brewer, Cameron Davison, Michael Reynolds, Matthew Engelrod, Michael Lapp Jr., Blur Diaz, and Trey Smith were all taken out. Just a huge wreck. But anyways, we're getting ready to restart. Michael Anderson's your leader with Jackson Patrick 2nd, Eli Bright 3rd, Owen Miles 4th, and how about Thomas Rothling? Started last and is now in the top 5. Through the restart zone, green flag back in the air. What a huge jump for Michael Anderson to 36. And it looks like David Quintnar is trying to take 2nd. What a huge lead the 36 has, as Owen Miles is now in 2nd, with Rothling in 3rd. But getting too big of a lead at a super speedway is dangerous, as here comes Thomas Rothling. The field has caught up to him. Jackson Patrick gives the 8 a push to the lead. Now they're 5 wide for 2nd. Here comes Jack Lawton, and oh! Around goes Anderson. Sam Diaz involved as well. The caution is out once again after the restart. Such heartbreak for Michael Anderson, one of the fastest cars in the race, is now done for the day. Sarah Diaz also has some damage. The 23, he got into the wall. We're going to have to look at a replay of what just happened to bring out another caution. 2nd one of the day, as there's Anderson in the pit road. Still able to drive his car back to the pits, but is most likely done for the day. Anyways, here's a replay. We start out in real time. Looks like, I believe, Jack Lawton came up on Anderson and turned him into the wall. Oh no, it was actually Jackson Patrick, I believe. Oh, actually, Jack Lawton made a little bit of contact with his teammate, Jackson Patrick, and then forced him into Anderson and Diaz, and took out Anderson. Sayer Diaz is still in the race, but does not have a chance to make his way into the main event now. So it looks like both of the Diaz brothers, Sayer and Blur, will not be in the main event, unfortunately. Neither will Michael Anderson. I guess that's why there were two Sirius XM cars attempting the race. The other one sponsored by the night, sponsoring. The other one is Mason Clements, as both of those cars were sponsored by Sirius XM. Just in case one of them missed the main event and failed to qualify. And this was basically perfect for it, since Anderson just crashed and Mason Clements made the race and is locked into the main event. But so tough for Michael Anderson. He led quite a few laps in the second qualifying race. Anyways, we only have two onboard cameras to show you, starting with Chris Beasley. Since this was a minor crash, seems like it's our first minor crash we've had, because we've had a lot of big ones. Here's Lucas Shorts on board. Anyways, that was like the first wreck we've had with only like one or two cars involved. But anyways, we're going to go to commercial break. We're going into overtime after this. So instead of a commercial, here's a little update. After the main event for the Combination 200 comes out, I will start getting to work on the two Aftershocks Cup Series races at Destin, as well as the Gillette race. So stay tuned for those. And after this NR 2003 race, I also plan on doing another one, and it could possibly turn into a series. More details on that will be coming soon. Anyways, enjoy this overtime finish to the last chance qualifier for the Combination 200 at the Orlando International Speedway. Welcome back. We just had a crash involving Michael Anderson and Sayer Diaz, and this is going to result in an overtime finish with 2 laps to go. In real life, we get as many chances, but since this is NR 2003, there are no multiple chances. The race will end under caution if there's a wreck before they get to the white flag. Since these are the rules from 2003, so if someone wrecks or something happens to put out the caution, then the race is official, even if they crash after the restart. So anyways, Thomas Rothling is leading after starting last, Owen Miles in second, Stapleton third, Lawton fourth, and LW Wright completes the top 5. And here they go through the restart zone. For the first time so far, we're going into overtime, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Rothling gets a great restart. So does Owen Miles. He's in second. James Stapleton going down to the inside for second. He's got help from LW Wright. Can Thomas Rothling hang on for these final 2 laps? Stapleton up to second. Wright trying to pass Owen Miles for third. Rothling is still in the lead. He's had an awesome drive today. Started last. And he's got one more lap before he can possibly get the winners. Here comes Stapleton trying to get a run. Can't get there. 1 lap to go. They're 3 wide for third. Chris Beasley has entered the chat as well. He's trying to get a run. Everyone's trying to get a run. Stapleton second. Jack Lawton third. Rolfing's got a lot of hungry drivers trying to get the win. And also lock in their final spots to the main event. Because this is the fall qualifying race before the main event. Here comes Jack Long down to the inside for second. Chris Beasley moves into the top 5 as well. Can Lund do anything to get the win? Doesn't look like it. From worst to first, Thomas Rolfing wins the last chance qualifier. How about that? The second time a Chevy has won one of these qualifying races before the main event. And Meixsell Wilcox gets the very last transfer spot as she will start last in the combination 200 at Orlando. This finish was pretty tame compared to the finishes we saw in the first and second qualifying races. There were no last lap passes or drivers crashing from the lead on the final lap. But anyways, here's a quick little slow motion replay of the drivers coming to the finish. Nothing special besides Thomas Rolfing getting the win, as Jack Long finished second, Stapleton third, Beasley fourth, Wright fifth, Miles sixth, Patrick seventh, Quinnar eighth, ninth, Doe, 10th, Lucas Short, 11th, Eric Keplinger, 12th, Brandon Shaw, and Meixsell Wilcox completes the final 13 that move on to the main event. That is the combination 200. So here's a list of all the drivers that unfortunately did not qualify. Matt Earnhardt, Eli Bright, Sayer Diaz, Julian Lozano, Cameron Davison, Steve Gates, Michael Anderson, Leighton Mata, Paul Brandonson Jr., Jack Semery, Matthew Ingram, Blur Diaz, Michael Lab Jr., Frodo Maratz, Joseph Hernandez, Justin Brewer, Trey Smith, Michael Reynolds, and Chase Powers. By the way, that was in order of where they finished in this race. It's so sad that they failed to qualify. They tried their best, but they didn't succeed. Anyways, finally got all the qualifying races done. I will probably put the starting lineup in the comments, so hopefully you didn't look at the comment section before watching this video, because that would have been a huge spoiler. So, anyways, just so y'all remember, Jonathan Mick is starting on pole for the main event, as he won the first qualifying race, and Darrell Michaels finished second in the first qualifying race, so he's starting second in the main event. Those two had a photo finish. And as for the second qualifying race, Peyton Beasley won that, so he's starting 16th. And Thomas Rolfing won today's last chance qualifier, so he's starting 31st. So I'm gonna stop babbling. Thanks for watching. This is Jonathan from JM Racing Network signing out. Goodbye, God bless, and stay tuned for the main event coming very soon to this channel.